Hey guys, it's Mike. All right, so this is our first official newsletter, and I want to talk to you today about something that is extremely important that isn't really discussed enough. And I think it's the primary reason why a lot of aspiring internet entrepreneurs or just entrepreneurs in general end up leaving the scene. And it's something that not a lot of people discuss, and we need to really bring it out in the open and discuss it more. And that's failure. We think about failure, and unfortunately, some of us, myself included, were programmed at a very young age to learn that failure was bad, when in all actuality, a real strong and positive entrepreneur understands that failure is a necessary part of running any business. You have to have failure in order for you to know your successes. You have to have failures in order for you to learn and grow and for you to expand your business. Now, I mention these things to you because a lot of you guys think that the gurus out there don't have any failures, or they don't have big failures. You guys, that's not the case at all. I left this guru space in 1999 or 2000, I think, when I didn't really like what I was seeing. Nobody was doing anything bad. Just it didn't feel like my cup of tea at that point in time, and a couple years ago, I came back and I started meeting all of these guys again, and getting in the speaking circuit, if you will. I think that's what they call it, and starting to get to know these guys again. And I got to tell you, I've been on the inside. These guys fail all the time, myself included. I mean, everybody fails, and sometimes they fail big, and hard. You don't hear about them because they don't want to shake the confidence that you have in them by saying, "Hey, look, I had a huge failure," and then that, for the people who or finger pointers or naysayers, they'll say, hey, you know what, that guy failed. How can I trust what he has to say? Hey guys, you know what? Everybody fails. It's just a part of business. The best thing for you to do is, if you have one of your failures, is to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and get right back in the game. The important thing for you to realize is that when you do that, you're telling, God, the universe, you're telling everything, hey, you know what? I'm unstoppable. You can't get me down. I mean, nothing is going to deter me from the course that I'm set on. And my course is to have a successful internet marketing business, or my course is to have a successful spirituality business, or whatever your course is. Don't let anything or anyone deter you from that course, no matter how big or small your failure. Last year, I lost one of my companies. I lost a company that I cared a great deal about, and that I really... I never thought that would happen. I never thought it would happen to me, where I would get to the point where I have to close an entity and let go of employees and the whole 9 yards. But I did. I had to. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way I wanted it to. But that doesn't mean that I close up shop and that I stop operating. It just meant that I had to stop operating that business. I had to stop doing what I was doing because it wasn't working. And in that case, what I was doing that wasn't working was trying to run a business that I didn't have my heart into it. I cared about it for the people and the employees that I had working for me, and I felt a sense of obligation to them to continue to, make this machine turn. And that's not right. What's right is following what's true for you and what you want to have happen for you in your life. I got a call from an internet marketer, a big internet marketer, a few weeks ago. I think it was a few weeks ago, and he's like, hey, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like this. I don't like any of this stuff. You told me you'd gone through something similar, last year. Last year is when I closed my business. And he's like, so how did you deal with it? How did you feel about all this stuff? And we started talking about feelings and emotions. And I got to tell you, man, I just had to tell him, look, it doesn't, what matters is not that we keep pushing with something we know we're not supposed to be doing. What matters is, what do we do when we realize that what we're doing isn't what we really want? Even though we care about the people, even though we care about the business, sometimes you just have to say, enough. I need to change focus. But not quit. There's a difference between changing focus and quitting. And that's the unfortunate thing that I see with a lot of people in the internet marketing space. They'll just quit. There'll be no change of focus. It'll just be like, oh, I tried that and it didn't work. And it's easier for them to say, I tried it and it didn't work, or it's a scam, or whatever, because approaching that sense of critical self and saying, hey, you know what? I gave up. I stopped. Whatever that justification is that they may be using, or that we may be using, because I'm just as guilty of it, guys. I try to minimize those kind of internal conversations in my head. I do it as much as possible, keeping them minimized to non-existent, basically. But I also have a nice thick skin. And that's because I failed a lot. I've had a lot of failures. But thankfully, I take the successes and I ride those successes as far as it'll let me ride them. And that's usually where you end up seeing, some real great returns, some great ROI. But you can't let the failures get you down. And by all means, you can't let them stop you. And then first and foremost, realize why the failure happened. Is it something you did differently? Is it because you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing? Is it because you're building a business that you don't care anything about? Think about those things. What's the intent? You guys will hear me talk about intent a lot, and I want you to just try and bring it back to that. What's the intent? And what's the intent of my business? And what can I do to make sure that nothing can stop me from completing and executing on my intent? My intent, you guys know my intent, those of you guys who know me, my intent is to help change the world, to help give people an ability to do things the right way, to show them that they don't have to use tricks in marketing, to show them that they can be a good marketer. You know what? It's come with its ups and downs, I got to tell you. I've got my ass kicked by guys who would use unscrupulous tactics, in every way, and it resulted in me having to lose a lot of money and lose a business over it. But I'm always going to maintain my higher ground, and I'm always going to keep pushing forward. And the people who will allow me to show them how to do it the right way, they're coming to the top now. We're seeing now, we even saw the fake news sites are out of business now. The fake bloggers are out of business. Those I would call them fad, but God, please don't even, you're not fads. I'd call them those whimsical marketing techniques. Those are not techniques. They're scams, and they hurt people. So, stick with your intent. Start with your intent. And once you have an intent, it's very, very difficult for you to let any failure, no matter how big or how small, tarnish your drive and your ambition. And that's what's important. What's your drive, what's your ambition, and once you have that to hold on to, it doesn't matter how many times you get kicked, and it doesn't matter who says what. All that matters is that you're doing the right thing, and you're doing the right thing for yourself. Okay? That's pretty much it. That's a good start. Hopefully, I hope that you guys get this message. I hope it touches you in some way, and I hope that set your intent. Be sure that you're doing what you feel is right for you, and if it doesn't feel like it's right for you, ask yourself, why the hell am I doing it? Life's too short. Life's way too short for this stuff, for doing things that aren't fun and that you're not meant for. So, leave some comments. Let us know what you'd like to see in the newsletter. Joel and I, we're here for you. He and I have our intent and our ambition is to build the best damn content for you possible, and to build a great members community for the people who want to join us in our members community. That's really what we're all about, And of course, I have my spirituality side, but which you guys know. But for you, what we really want is to help you, build a good and positive business. And if we can be a beacon, we can share our testing with you. If we can do any of those kind of things, we're going to be happy to do them, and we're honored that you're joining us. All right? Thank you very much, guys. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day.